Folks, I played the Avatar: The Last Airbender fighting game, and I found it pretty interesting. I think there is a lot of cool stuff about this game, and I definitely think it is very unique compared to what we've been getting from fighting games lately. But let me give a couple disclaimers. First of all, this is pre-alpha footage, so many aspects of the game are placeholder and subject to change, including the UI and some visual effects, which I believe there is going to be a shiny new UI that is going to be getting shown to you guys soon. And also, you'll probably notice from the gameplay that this is not like ultra high level, super crazy combo-filled gameplay. This was me and Long Island Joe, who were both basically trying the game for the first time. So if you're expecting like ultra developer, high level, whatever, that's not going to be this, but hopefully this will give you some ideas of what the game is all about. So I want to talk about the main 3 reasons why I think this game is so unique and so interesting compared to what we've been seeing in the FGC lately. So the first thing is this is a very highly movement-focused game. So a lot of fighting games these days, I feel like movement is kind of on the back burner. You know, we're not getting that much freedom of movement in fighting games because stuff like, you know, air dashes, like double jumps, these are just too broken if we make them really good. You know, I think Guilty Gear Strive was maybe one of the first examples where people are like, why are air dashes so slow? And they have kind of buffed them a little bit over time, but it's still something I think we're feeling. And maybe a little bit with 2XKO as well. Like 2XKO has really good ground movement, like wave dashing and stuff, but in the air, I think most people kind of feel in 2XKO, you feel a little bit clunky, you feel a little bit sluggish, but that is not what they're trying to do with this game. I think like movement seems like it's maybe the primary focus of this game is crazy movement, and that even comes down to the control scheme. So it's light, medium, and heavy attacks, and then flow, which flow is like your special movement button. So it's very character specific. I believe everyone has a counter with flow if they hold down and press flow, or if they do neutral and flow to counter mid attacks. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's the same for everyone. But other than that, like your flow is very unique. So Aang, who I think is the character we've seen the most of in terms of pre-release footage, Aang's flow is very like aerial oriented. He has a short hop from his flow. He can like get in his kite and fly around. That's one of his flow attacks. So Aang is very focused around like flying around in the air, which, you know, he's an airbender, so that makes sense. Whereas Korra, who's the character that I played the most, her flow is usually about like ground dashes. So she has a very fast, very far moving ground dash so that she can go forward and back out of her flow. So like I feel like they're really trying to differentiate the characters, which is always something I like to see. You know, even though Dragon Ball FighterZ was you know, a really huge game that I loved, it was kind of a complaint that like, okay, everyone has super dash, so everyone kind of is like flying at each other from across the screen, whereas this game, movement for the different characters is going to be really, really different. So I love the focus on movement, and I love how different all the characters feel. So that's kind of the first thing that stood out to me, is the movement focus of the game and the way the flow button really changes the game. I mean, you can go nuts with flow. You can just like spam it and like fly around, go back and forth. Yeah, it's really, really good. The second thing, I can't believe I'm saying that like this is unique, but it's kind of unique that we're getting a 1v1 game in 2025. Well, I guess, you know, the game's not coming out in 2025, but we're playing it right now in 2025. And yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously I love versus games and like assist fighters and stuff. There's some of the games that I am most passionate about in the FGC, but I feel like we got a little bit of assist fatigue, or maybe a little bit of active tag fatigue as well. I mean, we had Hunter x Hunter, 2XKO, we got Marvel Tokon, and Invincible still coming. These are all team games, so it almost feels like a rare and unique thing that we're getting a 1v1 fighting game in the modern era. But I think a lot of people are going to be really happy about that because you can pick your one character and focus on it. And yes, there are some like versus type mechanics in the game. There are some like, you know, craziness in terms of obviously the movement like I talked about, but you know, you can do chain combos like light, medium, heavy, but it's not really the type of game where it's like, okay, light, medium, heavy, launch, super jump, meet them in the air, do an aerial rave. you knocked him back down, pick it up with an assist. Like, it's not that type of game. Yeah, there are definitely crazy combos and stuff. The devs were showing us some really cool stuff. But it is maybe, we could say it's like halfway between a more grounded game like Street Fighter or Fatal Fury and like a all-out game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Marvel Tokon, that kind of thing. It's somewhere in the middle there. So, yeah, I think that they're positioned really well, actually, because, again, like I said, there might be a little bit of versus game fatigue, and also, I think since this game is going to try to appeal to fans of the franchise who maybe aren't the biggest, most hardcore fighting game people, I think it can be intimidating having to learn multiple characters. Yeah, I think that can actually be like an obstacle for people getting into the game, which is why, you know, a lot of games are trying to kind of figure out an answer to this problem. Like 2XKO, you can play with a teammate, or you can play like Juggernaut Fuse and only play with one character. And then Marvel Tokon, you know, a lot of the team mechanics are like optional. You can essentially just play as one character with assists if you really want. So I feel like this is something that a lot of developers have kind of realized is like team games kind of have an inherent level of difficulty, or at least a level of complexity beyond 1v1 games. So I think for a game that is aiming both at the fighting game community and at the Avatar fan base, I think it's a smart decision, especially in the current climate, to go with a 1v1 game. So yeah, I guess that's unique and interesting being 1v1 these days. That's what it feels like. And another thing, speaking of things that it's kind of surprising that this is like a unique selling point in the modern era, but it really is. Guys, this is a fully motion input game. I feel like this, it's honestly kind of surprising, right? It's honestly a little bit surprising. Because I think when this game was first shown, a lot of people were like, okay, like, yawn, yet another one button fighting game where all your special moves are tied to one button. But no, that's not what this is. I definitely didn't see any like super crazy, like there's no like Potemkin Buster input or whatever that I saw. There might be, maybe once we get a grappler. There was no grappler in the version we played. It only had 3 characters: Korra, Zuko, and Aang. And by the way, if I'm not talking that much about Zuko, it's because I didn't really play him, so I don't have a lot of experience with the character. I mostly played Korra and Aang. So anyway, yeah, it is mostly kind of like Dragon Ball FighterZ, like mostly quarter circle forwards. I do not recall if there were any DPs. I think actually there were DPs, maybe? I don't know. I don't want to say something and be wrong. So I think it's mostly in the realm of quarter circle forwards. So yeah, I think a lot of people who are, again, fatigued. I feel like maybe not intentionally by other fighting game developers. Whether it's intentional or not, it feels like we've just had a string of similar games in a row. Games with one button inputs. And, you know, Tokon, again, I do like that they are giving you the option of you can do one buttons for less damage or special move inputs for, you know, more damage. But this game, at least from what we know so far, they may be adding a special move button later, but I kind of doubt it. It seems like this is the direction that they want to go with the game, is, you know, making it feel like a fighting game, which isn't that what we all want? I mean, yeah, I think a lot of us, myself included, like the feedback and satisfaction that come from doing motion inputs. And again, you can do combos like light, medium, heavy, so like there's stuff that you can do without having to you know, get super in depth and do like DP, FADC, Roman cancel, whatever. Like I'm sure there is going to be like a lot of crazy depth in the game, but there's also easy stuff that you can do. And the flow button, again, is one button, so just by pressing the flow button and directions, like crazy stuff happens in this game. I felt that with Aang especially. Like Aang just kind of goes crazy. I mean, he's the airbender. He's flying around. He's zip-zooping around the screen. It's just cool, man. I was really a fan of the pick up and play aspect of the game. But like, I think that, again, they're smart, that they're trying to make a game that the Avatar fans can just pick up and press buttons and have fun. But also a game where if you're more of an experienced fighting game player, this is going to connect with you. So, yeah, another thing I think is really cool is the partner character system. I guess I could have talked about this when I talked about it being a 1v1 game. So, yeah, there are partner characters, which I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, so it's like cameos in Mortal Kombat or something. or like assists and an assist fighter. But no, it's not that. It's not that. The closest comparison is maybe like a Groove in like Capcom versus SNK 2, or like an Ism in Alpha 3, or like Mortal Kombat Variations. That's probably like the closest comparison, actually. It's like Mortal Kombat Variations. You have 3 of them. You pick the character, and then yeah, the character actually chills in the background. So if you see the giant dog barking in the background, it's because I picked that partner character on Korra. And they do vastly different things. They vastly change how your character plays. So like Aang has one that specifically buffs the move where he like rides on the ball of wind. Like that move specifically is highly buffed, and it makes him way more mobile. Or he has one where when he's flying on his kite, he has a lot more directional control and can do like trickier air stuff. So it really affects the character. And Korra, okay, so I talked about Korra has a command dash, right, where she like comes at you on the ground. Korra has one that allows her to cancel her command dash into normals. And again, like, okay, I apologize if I am like misremembering or not fully explaining how this works, but that's pretty much what it did when I messed with it, and it seems crazy. It seems extremely powerful, and it really changes the way the character plays when all of a sudden this is not just a dash for movement. This is like a pressure tool. It just does everything. But her other ones are really cool too. Like she has an install super, which allows her to air dash, I think, and it gives her a few different like benefits being in this install power-up super. But she has one partner character that essentially makes this super permanent. So like you do it one time, and then for the rest of the round, you are buffed up, which is really cool. And again, it completely changes the way you think about it, where you're like, okay, I gotta go for this super now to take advantage of my chosen partner character. So yeah, these partner characters are really crazy and really fun. Zuko has some interesting ones as well. He has like one that buffs all his projectiles, so you can kind of play him more like a caster, zoner type character. But he also has one that buffs his dive kicks, so it can really like change the way you play the character. Like I'm a rushdown character versus I'm like more of a zoner. Yeah, I like the partner character system, and you know, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, it's gonna be like this one gives you plus 10% HP, this one gives you plus 10% attack or whatever. But no, that's not the case. It completely changes the way you play, which is very cool. I'm getting kind of like heated here, like just like talking about these cool mechanics and stuff. I'm like actually getting fired up. I'm ready to play this game, guys. And I hope you are as well. There is a closed alpha for the game that is starting soon, or potentially it's started right now. I'm not sure, depending on when this video comes out. Yes, there is a closed alpha, and you know, I'm not sure how far away the game is. I don't think any of that is official, other than the year 2026. So yeah, hopefully we will get a chance to get more hands-on time with the game, because, like I said, I think they're doing some smart things in terms of setting themselves apart from the other big players in the genre right now, and making kind of a breath of fresh air. I didn't even mention the fact that this is a 2D hand-drawn art game, which, like, yeah, it just looks awesome. I don't know. I feel like especially in 60 FPS and stuff, you really see, like, the faithfulness to the animation of the show. I think the game actually does just, like, look like the show. And, like, the smear frames and stuff when a character gets knocked out are just so cool. And the cutscenes that play at the end of rounds where they, like, zoom in. And during supers and stuff, they, like, zoom in and fill up the screen. Yeah, just really impressive stuff visually. Really unique game in terms of gameplay. I think they're doing a lot of smart stuff. So very excited to get more time with the Avatar: The Last Airbender fighting game. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you going to be checking this one out? Did you apply for the closed alpha? Let me know. And that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.